Okay. It's been a while. I was slouching. Sometimes I'm like this. What would my mother think? My posture. It's that time of the month again where I strike a match and sweat and have a heart attack because I feel like I'm going to burn my fingers off. And sometimes that feeling where it's not attaching, the flame isn't connecting with the wick, that's so stressful. But here we are. It's State of the YOB time. My name is Tom. I'm the co-founder and editor of Your Other Brothers, and we are a community navigating faith, homosexuality, and masculinity together. State of the YOB is my monthly roundup of all of the blogs, podcasts, videos, and otherwise action on our website for the month. And you can tell it's November because I've broken out the flannel and the beanie, or the toque, as our Canadian friends call it. I think it's the toque, actually. Anyway, I'm nice and cozy. I've got my tea, I've got my candle, my flame, my heat, and I'm ready to discuss what happened this month in Your Other Brothers land. And this is very exciting because today, this very day that this is coming out, is actually our 3-year anniversary of existing. 3 years old. We are a terrible toddler. We started our website on November 30th, 2015, and over the last 3 years, gosh, what a journey it's been. A couple hundred blog posts, close to 50 podcasts. I don't even know how many videos now that we've done a bunch of these State of the YOBs and Manly Mondays, but we've come a long way, and an amazing community of support as well in 3 years' time. So happy 3 years to everybody in Your Other Brothers land. If you were there from the start in the very first year, or if you've come on recently and joined what we're doing, welcome. Celebrate today. Have a cup of tea in a misspelled, labeled mug today to celebrate. If you want to go back through the archives and check out how Your Other Brothers even began, well, first of all, we have an about page, yourotherbrothers.com/about. That'll tell you a little bit. You can also go to our very first blog post from November 30th, 2015, Christians Struggling with Homosexuality. And it details a 4-word Google search that I made and that lots of my other brothers made years and years and years ago, trying to find a community like this one. Starting things off this month in our blogosphere, because we love to blog, is a post by me. I wrote a post called "A Man Like All the Other Men?" And by the way, there is a fly. There it is. You can't see it. It's just off camera, right there. It's going to be buzzing around. I don't know if you can pick it up. I can certainly pick it up. It's been driving me crazy since I hit the record button. So hopefully I can stay focused right now. A Man Like All the Other Men? Where I talk about going on a men's retreat last month and facing the insecurity and the detachment that I've often felt. I mean, I can go all the way back to 6th grade, 5th grade, and not feeling like one of the boys, and certainly going into adulthood, not feeling like the other men, not necessarily feeling like a woman, but not feeling like quite enough of a man. I have a feeling that plenty of other people in our community, and those of you watching, that there are others that can relate to that. Not necessarily, not feeling a dysphoria about your gender, but not feeling as attached maybe to your gender as everyone else is, and not connecting on the same wavelengths that you see everyone else in your gender connecting on. And then by far our most popular post for this month was a post that has kind of been a long time coming, and I'm glad Eugene decided to take it upon himself to write about it. And that was Eugene's post. What is a same-sex celibate partnership? What is this fly doing? What's a same-sex celibate partnership? And maybe if you're watching this right now, I just said that phrase and you have no idea what I'm talking about. You have no idea what that is, and that people are committed to these things and that they do these things, these same-sex celibate partnerships. It's a mouthful to get out. It's a very educational post. It doesn't really make any claims. It's just defining what this term is. And And yeah, just speculating about it. Like, what is it? Is it good? Is it not good? Is it something, is it wise? Is it not wise? Is it something worth entertaining, not entertaining? It gets a conversation going that hasn't happened on our site actually about this topic ever in our 3 years. So this is a great one if you want to learn something that maybe you didn't know before, and you just want to have a safe place to ask questions and share your perspectives. We had at least one person in the comments comment about his same-sex celibate partnership, and so it was a great post for starting a discussion that I hope continues for a long time to come. Matt wrote a blog post, I don't want to lose another best friend, and he's in the middle of a series right now of just a connection of stories connecting to a Bible study that he led that got shut down, and a best friend a relationship that went on the rocks when he started dating this girl, the same girl who helped shut down his Bible study that he was leading. So there's a lot of drama. If you love drama, this is for you. But no, it's a sobering post too, because I think a lot of guys in our community have that fear, at least I do anyway, that fear of losing a really good relationship. And it's a real anxiety, it's a real fear that men feel as much as women do. And so check out that post about that tension, about having a best friend and not wanting to lose him. And then our most prolific author, Dean, he wrote a post called Finding Hope in Fantasy. And what I love about this post, it's a little different from a lot of our posts that you'll see on our site, posts about celibate partnerships and friendships with other men. This is a post about fan fiction and not anything really to do with maybe our other cornerstone content of masculinity and sexuality. This is a good old straight-on faith post. A post about faith and a post about hope, a post about Jesus, but it's also a post about fan fiction and finding joy, finding pleasure, finding escape, but then also finding grounding when life's tragedies strike. So if you're a big Supernatural fan, well, first of all, why aren't you and Dean best friends yet? But if you're a big Supernatural fan or a fan of fan fiction, then check out that post. And it's a post that kind of challenges that claim that Jesus is enough and ... I'll just leave it there. And then lastly, wrapping up our blogs for the month, Ryan wrote a blog post called How I'll Heal in the Next Life. And this is an awesome post, some really great lines, some really great writing, and it focuses on the next life and what healing, this concept of healing, is going to look like. Because I think growing up in an evangelical American Christian culture, we have this idea that all our tears will be wiped away and that healing will just kind of happen in an instant in the new life. And Ryan's not saying that it won't necessarily happen that way, but it's a great place to speculate and just think about, like, what is the next life going to look like? What is healing going to look like? How is life day in and day out for all eternity going to look? And it's a really great concept when you consider a life of struggle on this side of things, and in particular our struggles in this community. It's a great post to think about, like, gosh, someday there will be healing, and it's kind of fun to speculate what that will look like. Here at Your Other Brothers, we also do a podcast. We do a couple podcasts every single month. And this month on our YOBcast, which is our main show, our big event, we talked about body image in our 43rd episode. And body image is a big one. I'm kind of surprised it took this long for us to talk about it. We talked about abs. We talked about being overweight. We talked about being skinny. We talked about penis size. And we talked about the essence of being a man. We talked about so much that episode with Ryan, Jacob, and myself. It was Jacob's very first podcast. We got to talk to him and get to know him a little bit better. And it was a really awesome time. It was one of my favorite benedictions that I've ever put together too. I always close our podcast episodes with a benediction and maybe some scripture reading. And it was probably my favorite benediction that I've ever put together. And so it was a really solid episode. If you missed it, I hope you'll check it out. It was a great time. And then for our yobbers, and our yobbies, I don't want to forget our yobbies. For those that support us financially on Patreon, we do a bonus podcast every single month called the Yobalog, which is a follow-up to our Yobcast episode. And I cover some feedback from the episode, comments. We also have a phone number that people can call anytime and leave a message. And so we feature listener calls on the show. And then it's also, the second half of the episode is also a great time for bonus content, stuff that didn't fit into the regular episode. And a lot of times that features bloopers as well. And so there's a really good mix of silliness and yeah, some really good content. So check out our Yobalog on body image exclusively for Patreon supporters. And this is a great time to say, if you want to support us on Patreon, or if you're just curious about doing so, go to patreon.com/yourotherbros. Gotta sit up again. I always slouch. And then lastly, our video for the month of November. It was a Manly Monday video at the start of the month called My 2 Greatest Struggles as a Man, where I talk about my 2 greatest struggles. I'm wearing necklaces now. I'm not wearing them right now, but in general, day to day, I wear these 2 necklaces, and one symbolizes my capability as a man, and the other symbolizes my beauty as a man. Actually, I'm just gonna go get those real quick. Hold on. All right, I'm back. I didn't see the fly. Thankfully, he's made an exit. So yeah, I wear these 2 necklaces, as you can see, and this little sling in the stone, or stone in the sling, this little stone in the sling symbolizes my capability as a man, and this key with the word glorious written on it comes from a song, and it just represents my beauty as a man. And those are by far my 2 biggest struggles as a man walking this earth. Believing that I'm capable, a man like all the other men, going back to my blog post, and also beauty and worthy of love and worthy of being delighted in by other men and by God as well. So check out that Manly Monday video. If you missed it, you can hear me talk more about those 2 concepts, those 2 struggles that I face every day. That's gonna do it for State of the YOB, the month of November 2018. As I said at the start, it's been 3 years now that Your Other Brothers has been around, and I'm personally grateful. Your Other Brothers has changed my life, and I know I've gotten lots of emails and messages over the years that it's changed a bunch of lives out there as well. So Your Other Brothers is not just me, certainly. It's not even just the other authors and the other contributors to our podcast. It's the commenters, it's the readers, it's our financial supporters that make this even possible month in and month out. So thanks to everybody, all my other brothers, my sisters too, out there who support this work and this community. It wouldn't exist without all of us working together and contributing our various body parts and efforts to this community. So thanks to all of y'all out there. I hope you guys have a great December coming up. And in the meantime, until next time, keep yobbing. I'm gonna yob out.